Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to play FTL, Faster Than Light. This is a very fun roguelite space strategy sim. You can think of it as basically a procedurally generated Star Trek simulator. And the point of the game is to get from one end of the galaxy to the other end of the galaxy without being overtaken by the rebel fleet and without being destroyed by any pirates or aliens or rebels or anything you encounter along the way. You jump from sector of space to sector of space via faster than light hyperspace jumps. And when you land in a new sector of space, what you encounter there is always random. And you're trying to defeat enemies you encounter and gather any resources and loot that you find in order to upgrade your ship and kind of keep yourself going until the next sector. And there's kind of a fun risk-reward balance in the gameplay. You want to spend enough time in a given area to gather all the loot that you can. But if you spend too much time there, then the rebel fleet, which is always chasing you, will get closer and closer. So you kind of have to balance your time spent exploring with your time spent running, and it can make for some very tense encounters. I've never won a game. I've gotten fairly far into a game, but I still always die, and I suspect that'll be the case here today too. We're just gonna jump into a new game. I have unlocked one new type of ship, the Taurus. The default is the Kestrel, and that's the one I'm going to play with today. It has a nice balance of weapons and power resources. The way ships work in this game, you have subsystems, and each subsystem requires X amount of power units, or fuel units, I guess you could say. Reactor units, really, because your ship has a nuclear reactor and it produces so much power, and you can distribute that power however you want across your different systems. Typically, though, if you are powering up one set of systems, you may have to power down other systems in order to keep the ones that you're prioritizing running. So basically that means if I want to use all my weapons, I probably can't use my surveillance systems, and so forth. You'll see that as we start playing the game. This is the exterior appearance of our ship. Very sleek and cool. I love the pixel art of this game. Very appealing. You also have 3 crew members. Today their names are Mullet, Hector, and Markle. And you assign your crew members to rooms in the ship that have certain systems in order to keep those systems running. For example, this crew member is in the engine room. If I don't have a crew member in the engine room, I can't use the engines. Same with piloting. I can't make a jump to the next sector of space if I don't have someone piloting the ship. So there's a bit of a real-time strategy element in that you have to keep your crew members and your reactor power distributed optimally to be able to get from sector of space to sector of space efficiently, and to be able to quickly deal with any enemies you encounter. So the nice thing is that you can pause the game at any time and sort of queue up commands for your crew members and for your power distribution, so that you don't have to do everything on the fly. That's very helpful. I do own the advanced edition of this game, which contains expansions and lots of new content, but because I've never really gotten good enough at the game to experience that content, I have it disabled for now. Just experience the original version of the game. And I have the difficulty set to easy because this is a very hard game, even on easy. I haven't unlocked any other layouts for the Kestrel. I assume that additional layouts that I earn might be easier to maintain, probably. Maybe a more concentrated set of subsystems. Maybe they're more centralized in one location in the ship to make moving crew members between them faster. one or two more things about the ship here. These orange slots that you see dividing the rooms, those are doors. And they can be automated using the door system. I can open all the doors or close all the doors. That can come in handy if a section of the ship starts on fire. You can contain the fire and then send a crew member to put it out before the fire eats all the oxygen in your ship. And that's the other thing I wanted to mention. If part of the ship is damaged, you simply send a crew member to that part of the ship and they repair it. But obviously if your ship takes too much damage too quickly, that can be more than your 3 crew members can handle. You can take on additional crew during the game if you rescue people from being marooned on planets or that sort of thing. But then they take up more oxygen. You may have more oxygen requirements. So there's always a balance to be struck between the resources you have and the goals you want to accomplish. It can be a tricky balance sometimes. Let's jump into the game. The data you carry is vital to the remaining Federation fleet. You'll need supplies for the journey, so make sure to explore each sector before moving on to the next, but get to the exit before the pursuing Rebel fleet can catch up. Tip: sensors. If the ship goes dark, don't panic, just fix the sensors subsystem. Alright, so you start in a harmless sector of space, ready to jump to the next sector. Let's do it. So the beacon map, this gives you choices for different sectors you can jump to, and it sort of previews where you'll be able to go from there. If I go to here, you can see that's in a nebula, the pinkish purple area, which will make it harder for people to chase me, but it will also disrupt my own sensors. We could progress to this location, but it wouldn't let us really progress any closer to the exit than this one would. I'm thinking this is the one we want to go to because it unlocks the next system, which is getting pretty close to the exit for this sector. So let's jump to this location. And we have already encountered another ship. The captain of this ship claims he can provide services, quote unquote, as long as you've got the scrap. We can hire him to delay the rebels for 13 scrap. We can hire him to scout the sector for 18 scrap. We can fight him. And we can also choose to not have any need of his services whatsoever. He's a pirate fighter. I'm going to fight him because I might get some resources from that rather than spend resources and possibly deal with treachery, as it were. So we'll fight him. Mercenaries are worse than rebels. The only honorable course is to engage the mercenary in battle. So I'm going to press spacebar and pause here while I get my weapons powered up. So it'll take 3 reactor units to power my weapons fully. I had 3 in reserve, so I don't have to power down any of my other systems. That's nice. So let's aim this... Let's aim the burst laser at their shields. And then we'll also aim the missile at the shields. Hopefully we take out their shields, and then we can quickly take out their weapon systems. It's trying to escape. So now maybe we aim for their engines. They did damage us a little bit. Alright, looks like we took out their engines, so they may not be able to get away at this point. Their hull is almost down, so we should have them. Yep, destroy them. That was pretty easy. It's probably the easiest fight we'll have. Ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap material. We got a fuel unit, we got a drone part, and 20 scrap. We don't have any drones right now, so that might be something to sell later if we never come across any drones. The scrap is certainly useful. We gained 20 instead of spending 18, and we got a unit of fuel. each jump into hyperspace costs us a unit of fuel, so we definitely want to keep an eye out for that moving forward. We will power down our weapons system. We don't need any repairs, although we did take a few hits to our hull. We will want to keep an eye on that and try and get it repaired at some point. Let's jump to the next section of space. There's a store in this section. We have 50 scrap now, so we might be able to buy something useful. Transmission from the nearby planet indicates an outpost below which offers supplies to travelers. You send down an away party to check it out. So augmentations for our ship, we can get a reverse ion field, which protects us from ion damage. Gives us a 50% chance to negate ion damage entirely. FTL recharge booster, or FTL drive recharges 25% faster. Scrap recovery arm. Allows the ship to collect 10% more scrap from any source. That might be really useful. And we can fix our hull. I say we get the scrap recovery arm and try to get flush with cash. So the next store we come across, we'll be able to spend even more. Let's do that. I might be making a horrible decision there, but we'll just have to live with it. Let's jump to the next section of space. Counter another ship here. The nearby automated rebel scout has used a local satellite to deploy a virus to disrupt your shield system. Hopefully it won't cause further problems before you can destroy it. Alright, let's power up our weapons. Get their weapons taken out here. We'll have to charge up a little bit here. Surprised it hasn't fired yet. There it goes. Hit us once. And one volley was enough to take out that scout. Excellent. Ship explodes, leaving behind a collection of useful scrap material. Good. 20 plus of 10%, so we got 22 scrap from that. That's excellent. We will keep our weapons powered up for now, I guess. And we'll jump to the exit. As you can see, the rebel fleet is starting to close in a little bit. So why don't we just get out of here? If we're getting bonus scrap per encounter, we may not need to spend as much time in each sector of space. So that can be pretty handy. You've arrived at the long-range beacon. When the FTL drive is charged, you can jump to the next sector. That is excellent. A small platform orbits near this beacon. It looks like a refueling station of some sort. It's cheerily broadcasting reasonable prices in a spectrum of frequencies and languages. We can check it out. We only have 22 scrap. We may not be able to buy anything. You dock and signal the fuel station staff to begin refueling. What? As you dock with the refueling platform, there's an explosion from your engine room. Warning lights flash in your ship as pirates from the station swarm aboard your vessel. Intruders on board, 3 damage to your hull. Okay, this is not good. I've already got a guy in the engine room, so he can fix that. We're gonna have to fight these enemies. I'm gonna lose a crew member. I'm gonna lose all my crew members. Really? Game over. All crew members have died. Your ship will continue to drift for eternity or until looters destroy it. Score 130, new high score. So there's a perfect example of how this game can just turn on its head in an instant and just surprise the heck out of you with a totally random encounter that you're in no way prepared for. None of my crew members were strong enough to stop the invaders. That's a learning experience, because now that I think about it, the perfect way to deal with those intruders would have been to shut off oxygen to that area and just kind of suffocate them instead of trying to fight them directly. So I guess something to keep in mind for next time. That was a pretty quick run. I'm still going to call it good for this episode, just because I really don't know how long the next run might go, and if it ended up being a good half hour or so, then that would put us towards a 45-minute, hour-long video. So I'd rather keep the videos shorter than longer for now. Maybe for this type of game, you know, unless I know the runs are going to be real short, like in a game like Enter the Gungeon or something like that, we just keep the videos to one run in length, and however short it is, that's how short it is. Maybe if it's less than 10 minutes, we do a second run. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Hope the game is intriguing to you. I'm going to be playing a lot more of it. It's very fun to play, and it tends to go pretty cheap, so I definitely recommend you pick it up if you get a chance. So this has been Captain Nebula, also known as Dave, with Faster Than Light. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching.